Hello Budapest, it's nice to be here. I don't have a clicker. Should be right here. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the kind introduction. I just arrived here. Perfect. 2 hours ago by train. I was born and raised in Vienna, so it's beautiful to be here at such a sunny day in the beautiful city of Budapest. Sadly, today I'm not going to talk about AI agents. I'm doing a bit more practical side of what we experienced with our first customer at newsrooms.ai. So first I'm going to talk about who we are, about media, the media industry being in a crisis, always being in a crisis and always trying to find a way out. Then how trending topics, our first customer, got to be successful in this day and age of AI using newsrooms, and how we generally use this playbook with our customers. So newsrooms is based in Vienna. We're a startup. We are 3 years old right now. I'm the CEO. I used to be the techie and was born into kind of like the sales CEO role. And we care about European data sovereignty and security. That's one of the most important pain points of our customers. They want their data to be their own data. It's very obvious. But still, especially with AI, it's something you need to watch out carefully. My name is Matteo. I'm 21 years old. I did not study anything. I stopped my studies of law and philosophy to go full-time on newsrooms. I was hired straight off something like a secondary higher technical college to be the CTO and main developer of newsrooms. So I was born and raised in the AI landscape and never did anything else apart from this. Media is in a crisis. I just pulled up some interesting headlines about AI adoption, traffic numbers, and all this very important kind of like gears in the puzzle of the media industry. We can see 4 different problems I just wrote down: the economic problem, the integrity problem, the workforce problem, and the regulatory problem. Regulatory problem, very obvious. I will not cover that today. European AI Act, etc., etc. You've probably heard about it a lot already. The workforce problem, a big key factor of AI being said that they can make work far more efficient, which is in the media industry is quite a big of a problem because many journalists and chief editors or heads of communication in corporates, they now fear for their jobs, which is quite difficult if you really want to adopt AI into a workforce, if your workforce is totally against the implementation detail of AI because they're fearing for their jobs. The integrity, maybe it will be solved in August 2026 now when the AI Act comes into full force, where we are now forced to label AI-generated content. So if a media news outlet or a company posts an AI-generated post, it will need to be labeled as AI-generated. In August 2026, part of integrity and economic, I don't have to delve into that. But I want to talk about a fifth point out of this 4, it's traffic. Can you imagine the different revolutions of the media industry in the past decades? First, it was the internet, going away from physical papers to the internet. Then social media and search engines came to be. So first search engines like Google, and then social media. Different driving factors, because now the search engines control which newspapers, media outlets, or companies are found depending on the different keywords. You all know about search engine optimization. And then social media came, a totally different platform to reach customers or readers. And now it's AI, so we're not talking about search engine optimization anymore, but generative engine optimization. Geo or Gaio, there's many different words for that. So how can I make my content, my company, or my media or newspaper appear in answers from ChatGPT, Claude AI, Gemini, or others? This is now the next revolution that the media is facing, and you can see it in the traffic numbers. There is a so-called global zero-click rate. So if you see a link or a news outlet or some kind of CTA, there is something like a zero-click rate. So how many people are actually never clicking on the link? And it's increasing even more. And you can see it in the numbers. So I pulled up some numbers of peak traffic compared to January 2026 on some quite big media outlets like Wired, The Verge, How to Geek, TechRadar. Some developers that still use Stack Overflow back in the days might remember those media outlets. And you can see sharp declines. Digital trends had a peak traffic of 8 million, now in January 2026, 264,000. It's an incredible drop. And it's because people don't Google anymore, or Bing, or Brave, or whatever you call it, they just ask ChatGPT or Gemini. And that's a big crisis for the media. Now I want to tell you how Trending Topics, our first customer, solved this problem. Trending Topics is a media company based in Vienna, Austria as well, and it's been around for 10 years, self-sufficient, so they grew and earned their money straight out of revenue. They've been around for 10 years and they are famous for economic, tech and startup related topics, also a little bit of crypto. And they were always first movers, especially when social media came to be, and they were also first movers when AI came to be. And Trending Topics did it a little bit differently. It's now the biggest tech medium in the whole DACH region. I pulled up the similar web traffic. You can see from January 2026 until the end of March 2026. And sadly, you probably cannot see it all down in the back, but Trending Topics is the blue line, which the first few weeks of January was quite normal for Trending Topic standards, and then we saw a huge spike in traffic. And now Trending Topics, especially here in the peak week of February, had more traffic than all three competitors in the DACH market combined. And we even managed to scale it to the second biggest tech and startup media company in the whole of Europe. We even overtook Sifted.eu. So some people who are into the startup game may know Sifted. The only one that has still more traffic, at least partially, is EU startups. But even those we managed to overcome. This was the week when OpenClaw was launched and got very viral. Our chief editors of Trending Topics were just very fast at that. So how did we manage that? How did we go at the exact opposite trend, if I can go back again and see the sharp declines again? So how did we exactly counteract this trend with Trending Topics? Well, it was quite easy. Over 90% of all the articles, podcasts, editorials, content, social medias, whatever kind of form that you can think about that a media company has to publish, was written by newsrooms.ai. And it's quite simple. Yeah, but I will delve into how we do it later. And we managed far more than 50% cost reduction. So a media company that used to be in a crisis, used to have 10 chief editors, now has 2, is managing double the content and triple the traffic with newsrooms.ai. It's counteracting the trend. That's our playbook. It is very simple, and simplicity is part of the model here. This is how newsrooms.ai looks like. This is our web solution. We have many different other products as well, but I don't want to bore you too much with the product. This is how it looks like, and it's very simple to generate content here. Sadly, it's German right now. Here, I did it for another pitch last year ago. I just uploaded I think it was the timetable of a conference. It was just a Word document the organizer sent me as a speaker. And I generated 5 different content pieces with 1 button click out of it. And it's quite simple. I can do that with ChatGPT as well, you might ask. Yes, I can. Yes. But it probably will sound like AI slop that you read on LinkedIn. Then you will tell me about skills and smart prompting and say, yeah, but I can do that as well with ChatGPT or Claude AI if I just put a lot of hours and work into it. Yes, you can. If you're AI native, you might probably achieve that. But most of the media industry are not. The 60-year-old chief editors are not. And every non-tech guy is not. Because the space and the industry of AI is moving so fast. Every 2 weeks, a bigger model drops that you have to prompt differently, that you have to adapt differently. And then you do have, again, to do workshops with your workforce and retrain them on compliance. Then a new regulation from the EU drops. Then you have to retrain them again and again and again. Here, there's no hustle at all. And the beauty of newsrooms.ai is we train our language models, and we have more than 290 different language models plugged into newsrooms. Models from Google, models only from the European Union, models from Anthropic, every kind of large language model that basically exists on the market right now. We plugged into newsrooms, and we do something behind the scenes that our customers never see. Yeah, we train those models, large language model agnostic, on a language and style profile. That's what I wrote my diploma thesis on. We did it back then, and it's public. The diploma thesis is public with the Krone Multimedia, probably the biggest newspaper in Austria. It was 5 years ago, if I remember correctly, and it just sent us over 6 million of their articles, and we fine-tuned their own model based on those 6 million articles. And that's how I first came into language style specific training in the AI industry. Now it's 5 years later, we don't have to fine-tune every single model for a language profile anymore. Nowadays you call it harness or a RAG database or a graph database for retrieval augmented generation together with a harness and maybe some detailed fine-tuned models in there. So behind this scene, where I just have to press one button, there's a style training going on. The smartest model for every single text, for every single graphic, for every single image, for every single target audience gets selected and generated automatically and happens in a minute. And in a minute, I have 5 content pieces generated that I can auto-publish via newsrooms as well. So I don't have to take like hours and hours of editorial work and just in 2 minutes have the finished articles and social media posts on every kind of platform that I as a company or a media company serve. And that's how Trending Topics, with only 2 people, managed to go against the trend of the media industry. This is the newsrooms model. We're actually on Google Cloud. I have to thank Alice for being a great partner at this point. Shout out. It was a pleasure to work with you guys. And we start from 34 euros a month per user. And if you're interested in newsrooms, we can delve into the details about how I and my company could help you fight against the trend as well. Thank you. If you're interested, here's the contact page, and also you can check out another venture of ours. Is here Stella. It's a European AI agent. It's more on the infrastructure side, this kind of project. I thank you for listening. Thanks. Are there any questions? Because I think we have 5 minutes left.
Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left, so if we've got a microphone, so. Be tudjátok kapcsolni a antenás?
1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for your presentation. My question is, so your software rephrase the text in the way that it will later indexed by big LLMs and will rise up in the proposition? That's how it works?
As well. We do many things. We do the style adaptation, the search engine optimization, and the generative engine optimization all in one. So we can adapt the text to be more cited by AI, we can adapt the text to be more searchable by Google, and we can adapt the text to sound more like you.
Clear. Thanks.
Any other questions? Anybody else?
Perfect.